Hi, I am Sweet Soul Magic. I am a life coach, love guide, and energy channel. And I'm serving up supernatural but down to earth remedies for love, peace, and pleasure.
Wow, that's beautiful. I like the sound of all that. And my name is Mahdi with PowerUpWithMahdi.com. And you may know I'm a life coach, a human performance specialist, and I specialize in helping people become aware of their power. I make power visible for you. And I am so glad, so excited about this opportunity to be sitting here talking with Tanya with Sweet Soul Magic. I like the sound of that. So what you want to talk about today?
We were going to talk about soulmates. That's been the topic of conversation these past few days. I've had quite a few clients call asking me how they could meet their soulmate.
Everybody want a soulmate. Everybody want a soulmate.
Yes.
You know what? When I think about soulmate, I always get deeper shit. You know, I very seldom just look at the surface of it.
Right.
So when you say soul, what do you mean by that? What do you mean?
I believe that a soulmate is a person that helps you expand and grow.
Well, I guess no. What I mean is when I say soul, let's take off the mate.
Okay.
All right, because we know what a mate is like a match, right?
Yep.
So when we talking about soul, what are you talking about matching?
We're talking about matching the highest and best version of yourself.
The high. Is that what you're looking for? Are you looking for someone that matches the highest version of yourself? Because you know what, though? I meet a lot of people who ain't ready for that.
Well, a lot of us aren't ready for that, but when we're saying we're wanting to meet our soulmate, that's exactly what we're saying.
Wow.
But if you're not already aware of your highest and best self, then what I believe you meet are soulmates along the path. Because there's everybody that you meet, I believe, is a mate to your soul. Some of us believe there's only one soulmate, like the one, you know. And most women that call me, that's what they're wanting to meet.
The one, they want the one. They want the one. You want the one, don't you?
Exactly. But there are more than one. There's more than one. So you can meet many people who are mates to wherever you are in your level of expansion.
I'm still stuck on you saying your highest and best self. And I'm wondering in my mind if I'm not really striving to be my best self in my own life as an individual, then am I really looking for or open for or have space available for a soulmate?
I believe you're open for it, and yes, you're looking for it. You might not be always aware that you are, but to me, that's the purpose and that's the magic of life. We're here to expand and grow and remember who we really are. So if you have not already come to that awareness, then you'll meet people along that path to help you remember.
So I'm still stuck on that.
Okay.
I'm still,
I'm gonna get you unstuck.
Yeah, because I work with a lot of women, and the thing is, and not just women, I work with men too. But men don't come looking for no soulmate. Let's just be.
Well, and that's a conversation in itself. They don't come looking. Why? Because we're the ones who are conditioned usually to look for the man to come and find us. That would be probably why.
Knight is shining on me. Right?
There you go.
Yeah, because guys don't come to me like, man, Mahdi, I really need to get a sense of my power so I could find me a soulmate. That's women say that though.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So let's talk about some of the things that are hindering women. And we're not just trying to make this conversation about women.
Of course.
Men can learn from this conversation. What are some of the things that hinder women from being able to attract their soulmate? Because we didn't take out find.
Right. Exactly.
I think we could throw the whole concept of finding a soulmate in the trash can. Boop, it's in the can.
Right.
So attracting a soulmate.
Okay. I think what's hindering many women is the fact that they do not know themselves. We talked a bit about the fact that, and I know from my own personal life, that I went from trying to please my parents and getting acceptance from them to trying to please and be a competitive person in school to becoming married and being the wife that my husband or ex-husband wanted me to be. So there was never really an opportunity for me to figure out who Tanya was. Wow. Never did I have a chance. There was no class that said, here is life school for yourself or anything. There was no such thing.
So you would like put on a conveyor belt. Like women are put on a product conveyor belt. If you go to a factory and you see all these products in line, they're all identical and they're just going down the line. That women are like actually put on that kind of conveyor belt and they're socialized and conditioned to believe certain things. And that number one, that they should be a certain way in order to have certain things.
Yes.
And those that stand out are taken off of the conveyor belt, right?
Exactly. And then so many women, I used to be a hairstylist for many years, and I had several clients who would sit in my chair often saying things like, oh, I need to be married by a certain time. It's like we have an expiration date.
Damn.
If you're 30 and you're not married, something's wrong with you. Simply not true. If you're 35 and you haven't had a baby, oh my gosh, your value has dropped. As if our value is totally, it's ego-based, we know this,
Right.
but our value is totally contingent upon those external things that we've now achieved.
Do you know what came in my mind just now? And I forgive me, people out there listening, but what came in my mind when you were saying that was that how many women that I've worked with who have told me they never had an orgasm.
Right. Oh, that's
So they're on the conveyor belt. They're on the conveyor belt.
Yes.
And don't know enough about themselves
Right.
to even be able to experience one of the beautifulest things about a relationship, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true even for me. I probably just candidly will say my first orgasm was, I was probably almost 36, 37 years old.
Wow.
But you don't know. If you don't have the context to know what that really is, you
Wow.
don't know until you have that mind-blowing, amazing experience that, whoa, wait a minute, what is this?
Wouldn't that come with you knowing yourself? Like, if you knew yourself, you know, how to pleasure yourself. Now, I'm not talking about, like masturbation.
Of course.
But how to really bring yourself into harmony.
Into pleasure in all areas.
Yeah, in all areas.
It's pleasure from an intimate perspective with relationships and pleasure in life. Yes, when you don't know yourself. I often tell clients too, when you don't know how to please you, how can someone else? When you don't know what pleases you, how do you attract that? You could be closed to that if you don't know what that is. So that's very, very important.
Yeah. You know, and when we are put into our ego, when I say put into it, the world puts us into it. The world says to you, who are you? It asks you who you are. When you say you don't know, it tells you who you are.
It sure does, yes.
And so who the world tells you that you are is who you try to be for other people.
Yes.
And so women are trying to be a lot of things for a lot of people, for their parents, the man that they're trying to attract or the man that they're with, for society. Women really do a lot to try to fit in,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And that stuff becomes so ego-based that it's hard to find who you are, to remember who you are.
Yes.
When you're deep in that ego. Right?
Exactly, especially with social media and conditioning the way that it is today. I mean, we're looking online for approval. You know, the number of likes means, oh my gosh, that I have arrived. Yeah, exactly. And I find myself being before caught up in that too, wanting to do things to please others.
Right.
And that's all ego. All of it.
So how many women out there, be honest now, are living your life like you're in a beauty contest? Like really, there's some judges watching you, and you have the swimsuit competition, you have the congeniality, you have, you answer that serious question, whatever that part is.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And really not loving the whole of who you are, unconditionally loving yourself. I remember when I first made that realization that really I didn't love myself totally. It was awakening for me in itself. I was inspired to stand in front of the mirror and tell myself, I love you, Tanya. It was very difficult for me to do that. At first I didn't want to do it. It just seemed like some crap that was weird.
Now think about that for a second. Why was it so difficult for you in terms of, what is it about the socialization that told you that standing in the mirror and saying to yourself, I love you, I love me, I love you, Tanya, is such a struggle?
Right. I think it's because it felt selfish. I've been taught, and many of us have been taught, that to be selfish is a negative thing. To basically focus on yourself is negative. But I think that's the case for so many women. We do so much for so many other people that we rarely take the time, and we feel guilty when it's time for us to do something just for ourselves.
Wow.
So the women that come to me, that's why they're coming to me, because they're ready. They're ready to love themselves. They're ready to get to know themselves. They're ready to make themselves a priority in their own lives.
You know what just popped in my head? So you're making stuff pop in my head, right? Which is good.
That's what I do.
I hope that stuff is popping in your head as you're listening to this. And what popped into my head is the reality that we spend 24 hours a day with ourselves. That in fact, when we're even with other people, we are with ourselves still.
Always.
You cannot get away from yourself.
Right.
So it's the strangest thing and so counterintuitive for us to be taught by our society that it's selfish to focus on yourself.
Yes,
because the
it is.
reality is, you always are focused on yourself. If you're not, you're distracted.
You are.
Right.
You are. That's so true.
Yeah,
That's
if
so
you're
true.
not focused on yourself. Because, I have women that come to me that say, oh, Mahdi, I've lost myself.
Yes.
Then they say, I don't know who I am.
Number one.
And then they say, I don't have any time for myself. And I say, oh, time out, sister. How does that happen when you're with yourself 24 hours a day?
Yeah. So true.
And that's what distraction
Right.
is.
And that's because everything else in your life has become the priority. You've chosen to allow everything else but yourself to be the priority in your own life. I remember when I had a life shift some years ago, I had gone through a divorce, And I was so used to having so many responsibilities with my business and my marriage. And this one particular day, all of those responsibilities had been taken away. I literally panicked. Wow. Because I didn't know what to do with myself.
Wow.
I didn't know what my hobbies were. I didn't know how to spend time with me.
So you had defined yourself by all those things.
Absolutely.
And then taking all those things away took away your identity.
Who am I?
Wow.
Exactly. And that was traumatic.
I hope y'all listen to this, because I know there are a lot of women out there who are struggling with issues relating to not just this idea of soulmates, but this idea of not knowing who you are.
Exactly.
Because you've existed in a long period of time being distracted from the beautiful self that you really are.
Right. And the real way to meet your soulmate is to get in touch with your own soul. And that's the process that I teach women. That's the process that I teach. You cannot meet another until you meet yourself. You cannot meet the highest version of yourself until you meet fully yourself. Otherwise, you meet fragmented souls, as I call it. We're all whole. We may not all have the awareness that we are, but we'll meet people to help us remember.
Wow. So we're on a journey of remembering.
Yes, we are.
And I say that to people all the time, that I don't teach anybody anything. As a coach, I'm not in the teaching business. I don't give advice and I don't teach. What I do is I teach the 3 R's, right? You know the 3 R's?
What are they?
Remembering, restoring, and rejuvenating.
I
teach the 3 R's, right? The 3 R's, right?
Yes, I love that. I love it.
Because we need to remember, we need to restore, and we need to rejuvenate. And that is really, like the formula for us really becoming acquainted with our soul.
With ourselves, yes, our true souls,
Yeah. So you are you soul?
I am.
I'm soul too.
I am sweet soul magic.
Wow, I like that. So we're gonna be, let me say this. As we bring this conversation to an end, we want you to follow us. We want you to become involved in this conversation, because we're going to take this conversation about soulmates deeper, because we know that you're looking for a soulmate, and we're going to help you to find your soulmate, right?
Absolutely. So if you want more information, you're certainly welcome to call me or visit my website at sweetsoulmagic.com. I have a program that can help you find out who you really are. If you're ready to get your life, give me a call. And
as I said before, my name is Mahdi, Power Up with Mahdi. You can go to my website and get information about my coaching practice and the idea of me helping you to own your power. I want to see you in your power, and you will have your soulmate.
You will.
Right? All right. So follow us. I'm not saying like us, but like us.
If you like us, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. But follow us at least.
Follow us. Peace.